Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, bringing you guys a Call of Duty Modern Warfare gameplay commentary. Today, what you guys are watching in the background is a Crash Domination gameplay 6 versus 6 using UAV, the VTOL jet, and the chopper gunner as my kill streak selection. I go 44-4 in this gameplay, so not a bad gameplay indeed. Basically, what I want to talk about today is 6 versus 6 because I don't really play much 6v6 or upload it on the channel, but just starting to get into it a little bit just because of variety's sake, and I don't want to be uploading Anya Palace Ground War every single time, or like Zukov Boneyard, because that's where all the magic happens in this game. But I figured I'd give you guys some 6 versus 6 tips. Pardon my aim right here. Holy crap. Anyways, some tips for 6 versus 6. So normally in like 10v10 or ground war, I usually use something like stim shot because it's easier to stay on longer streaks and stuff like that because there's more people. They're going to be rushing you down. In ground war, people spawn on their squad mates and stuff like that. But in 6v6, you really don't need the stim shot. And the reason why is because there's only 6 people on the other team. These maps are big enough to where the enemies are going to be spread out and you're not really going to be running into a ton of people in general like all the time. And right here, I was just using the C flag as bait that I captured to get a free cheeky kill on a guy and ended up getting a second kill on that guy too. So but the thing is about 6v6 is something like Quick Fix can be your perk 1, and it's much better than running something like Kill Chain or Cold Blooded or anything like that, because you don't really need those in 6v6. Kill Chain doesn't really have much of a use considering your kill streaks aren't going to do as much damage in 6v6 as they might in something like 10v10 or ground war, so that kind of pulls that one out of the question. Cold-blooded enemies aren't really going to be getting much streaks if you can control them from getting streaks, and just stuff like that. So I think that Quick Fix can be a very good perk, and actually, since 6v6 is a little bit campier, a little bit more head glitchy, I really think stun grenades and semtexes and flashbangs are really good in 6v6, and the reason why is it really helps you out to pick people off head glitches and people that are just not really moving that much in general. Being able to have that stun or semtex can really help you out. In the gameplay in the background, I was running hardline, but I'd really recommend running restock with this. I know a lot of people, use claymores and bouncing betties, and I personally find those a lot better in 10 versus 10 and ground war, just to help control the chaos of how many people can surprise you at once. But in 6 versus 6, really, it's all about those 1 versus 1 gunfights, and these maps are porous enough to the point where you can actually outplay your enemies. And right here is just some bad timing. That guy hopped up on the dumpster. But what I'm saying is, these maps are a lot more porous than they were in Treyarch games, and they're not as competitive as you would see in Treyarch games. So what I mean by this is basically there's a lot more spots that you can, like I said, outplay people. And what I mean by outplaying somebody is just, maybe you try to bait them into looking one area and then you end up behind them another second. It's really hard to explain, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Is basically you use these tactics on the map to try to outplay your enemies, and you want to be thinking of this as you're playing, because if you take the time to maybe go on a little bit of a flank, bait the enemy and thinking you're somewhere, you don't need to worry about stim shot because there's really going to be 1 or 2 more guys, and whenever you kill them, they're going to be pushed back to their spawn point and stuff like that. So I really think that 6 versus 6 is a lot more controlled gunfights. You can really take on those gunfights yourself. Some other tips besides, of course, Quick Fix, restock, hardline, stuff like that. UAVs are a lot stronger, though, in 6 versus 6, and the reason I say that is if you are not running Ghost, all of a sudden you are a huge target on the radar, because generally it's slower pace, people are waiting for sound and stuff like that, and if they see a ping on the radar, then, a lot of people are just going to start turning in your direction. So you just have to keep that in mind. But then again, UAVs are also less of an occurrence that you would see in something like ground war or 10v10, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. I would say that you can get away with not running Ghost in 6 versus 6, and then, if your team's just really not that good and just feeding the enemies kill streaks, either just back out or switch to Ghost. I mean, that's honestly the best thing you can do. But yeah, I really think that a lot of people are making a mistake by running Cold-Blooded Ghost and stuff like that. And then for your third perk, you can run Battle Hardened. And the reason I'm using Battle Hardened is because a lot more people are running tacticals in this, and they're throwing stuns and stuff like that. I really wanted to execute this guy. He almost turns on me, but I still end up getting him. And I think that you can also use Tracker or Tune-Up. Those are some other really good perks, just because they'll get you... Tune-Up will get you your dead silence faster. Tracker can really help you if you're trying to flank the enemies and trying to stay alive and get into power positions, stuff like that. There's no real counter to Tracker, where some of the other perks like High Alert does have a counter. It's Cold-Blooded, and Cold-Blooded is just in an abundance of use right now because of the Warzone classes are not separate from multiplayer. But I think that those little tips will help you guys improve at your 6 versus 6 gameplay whenever you guys decide to play this mode. Again, I don't play it very often because I just don't like the pacing, and that's why I just really like 10 versus 10 in this game, as well as Ground War. They're a lot more fun, fast-paced, and honestly, I just feel like in those modes, they're just more casual. They allow you to use off-meta stuff a lot more, and especially if, just in general, I feel that they're just a lot more fun because more players, in my opinion, is more fun. I've always been that way in Call of Duty. I've always liked the larger team battles. I've always loved Battlefield too, so, it just kind of makes sense why I play those larger scale modes. But, perk selection really will determine how you're going to play in 6 versus 6, and it's the same thing with your lethal and tactical because they are very important. Like I said, having restock will really allow you to take advantage of having more lethals and tacticals, which can help you get in more power positions and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys found these tips helpful, and also you can really bait people a lot more with doors and stuff. Doors are a lot better in 6 versus 6 because you can close them, and it's less likely that someone's going to see you closing that door or whatnot. So there's a lot more things in 6 versus 6 that you really have to keep into your mind, and it's honestly a lot more intellectual skill than mechanical, just because you can really outplay people a lot in 6 versus 6. But of course, it's pretty frustrating just to die to somebody that's sitting in a corner, and nothing can be done about that. So, but anyways, yeah, I just felt like I wanted to go over a little bit of 6v6 gameplay here today, so hopefully you guys learned something. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about for 6 versus 6, 10 versus 10, or Ground War, any sort of things I can commentate over and just try to give you guys some tips and tricks on, let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to keep playing a little bit more 6v6. Maybe I'll find out some really good and fun setups to use, kill streaks, all that other kind of stuff. But yeah, I just really want to switch up what I'm playing. Don't want to play the same thing all the time and keep the content fresh and fun for you guys to watch and have a lot of variety on the channel. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out and have a great day.